Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you all celebrated with your family and loved ones. Hope it was a dope one. Welcome to 2022. This is Card Chats episode 20, and we're going to get it on with Crone. I'm going to wait for him to join in, then we're going to let him jump in. It's going to be Card Chats episode 20. Alright, y'all, I'm going live with Chris Chrome right now. What up, Bullet Shout Out Official? How you doing?
What's good, dude?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, living life, breaking in the new year. How are you?
Setting off 2022 with the first Card Chats of the year, so
There we go. Thank you for being the first. Thank you for having me be the first. It's always a pleasure.
yeah, man, no doubt. Like I said, anybody who hits me up is first come, first serve, you know what I mean? So,
That's how it's got to be done, especially when everybody's hungry nowadays. Everybody's trying to do something different. We always just got to be first ones, first serve, put ourselves out there, and hopefully something catches, right?
that.
So
So,
what's up? How long you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for 10 months, man.
Nice.
I just started
What?
last year after my birthday.
Okay. And what kicked that off?
Well, I used to be a hip hop artist myself, but I stopped like over a decade ago. So like I was just well, I deal with my own like mental illness and shit. So like that part like hits close to home. So I brought
Yeah.
that into it, but I had a lot of people I knew in the Ottawa music scene, Montreal music scene, like a lot of the music scene around Canada. So like I figured I'd like start off the podcast with that specific art craft. I'm smoking Jack Hayes right now. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I just started interviewing hip hop artists and then mixing the mental health, but initially, I had planned it to be like just educating people on mental health, but it turned into people just talking about their own like personal stories, which made it like a
Mm,
lot more deeper and raw than anticipated. But I like it. I like it better that way now that I think about it. Like not like I'm trying to force it out of people, but like if
mm.
they're down to talk about it, like Holden could vouch for that because he's up next on episode 10, but he could vouch for it.
Nice.
Like there's a couple times he's like, I don't really want to talk about that. So like I turn it around and just be like, okay, well just give me an example and then we'll just stop it there. Like simple as that. So,
Fair enough.
and
Fair
this is
enough.
just because I just like connecting with artists and finding out what they're doing, what they're planning. Like it's like it's called Card Chats because it's like something you'd be driving around just talking about with people, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. I like the idea. I like the idea. I mean, I've been following you since you reached out to us, and I've been keeping up and making sure I'm always up to date on what interview you've got or whatever like live you're going. Just kind of hard for me because I got all the other shit to take care of. But I
Well,
mean,
I
I'm
appreciate
following.
it.
Again, like I was really excited. I was just like double tapping. You're like, yo, reach over. I was like, let's chat it up.
Yeah, man.
But what are
Like
your plans for starting 2022? I mean, besides
I have
this,
a
like, what are you?
podcast still. I'm doing the podcast still. I'm gonna start another small podcast on the side. Just this one just completely based on mental health and mental illness, but it's gonna be the guests will be people who are like diagnosed with like different mental illnesses, etc. And so that'll be that. But I'm trying to do like an exclusive interview with like the buzzing Ottawa artist, whoever's like at the top of their game in the city, like get an exclusive once a month for like just
Mhm.
content wise, because my show comes out every 2 weeks, right? So like I need something in between that to fill it up.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
trying.
speaking of like mental health, I mean, I just put out a 3-pack project where I basically dive into like my ADHD, like the first track of that 3-pack. It's called Letters I Forgot to Give You. It's out on Spotify and everywhere else. Put a video, well, put the tracks into a video for YouTube. But that kind of dives into like how the ADHD affects me dealing with people. That song specifically is really like a relationship with a woman. But like, it's just interesting to kind of look back at it and hear myself say some of the certain shit and then really kind of ponder on it and be like seeing myself from a different perspective in a way was kind of cool. And I think that like a lot of people who may suffer from like mental health, I encourage them to like write it out, write it down, make a song about it, try to be creative with it, because I do think that it helps a lot.
And that's partly why like I mixed the hip hop and like the arts with like the mental health, because like if they don't use like what they got from the podcast to go and get the help they think they may need, then maybe they'll pick up an art of some sort and use it as an outlet to channel their like emotions and shit. So like, you know, like either way is a win for me. So like
Yeah, no, I think that like art itself, I mean, for me, especially with like connecting hip hop, I like to believe that there's a lot of mental illness in hip hop. Like if we really dive into like a lot of the tracks that we listen to, or like
it's still too stigmatized that people in the hip hop world who are still like this whole alpha male like mentality just don't want to talk about it because they're told not to whine about their problems growing up. So,
I don't know. I took a different route with that. Like I've never been me and myself, I've never been the type of person to like, I've got like, I got to be honest with myself. I've got like alpha traits in the sense of like wanting to be an alpha and like wanting to be like that leader and stuff like that. But I also know that like I'm very connected with like my emotions, and I kind of live my life heavily through how my emotions kind of trigger me at times. So I decided like as an artist, as a musician, as a rapper, as a creative or whatever, I'm really gonna like, I don't want to say utilize, but like embrace my emotions, embrace a lot of how I feel and how I see the world, and like just put that out there. And it seems to be working. I mean, people seem to be liking what I'm making and just kind of connecting to it. It's weird shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
When people can relate to shit, that's when you know they actually like it. And like, it's not about like, even if it's a vibe. Like, if someone can relate to it, then obviously they must like it if they can relate to it in some way.
Yeah. It's just crazy to think, like, as an artist myself, like, it's crazy to think and to see what people relate to. Like, there's certain tracks I've put out so far that I'm like when I put out a song or when I put out some songs, I have like certain people in mind that I want, or at least I'm hoping that they listen to this track, because whether it may be about them or it may be about like a story or something like that, that like kind of answers a question that they may have or something like that. It's like, I want them to listen to that, right? Of course, I want everybody else in the world and everybody to enjoy my music and stuff. But it's like when I'm actually putting out certain tracks, it's like, I really hope so-and-so hears this. I really hope that such and such happens. But like, now I'm looking through some of like my streams and my numbers and stuff, and like people from around the world are vibing to some of my music that I'm just like, down. Like,
Spotify shocks you with like their listener demographic thing, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, especially now that if I'm not mistaken, it's like 4 tracks me and Holden are on. I know my work from home track, I was actually planning, it's somewhere like in my head, I was planning that song was going to kind of go, and I'm still hoping that track kind of goes viral, because just, okay, hold on. I got like an annoying cat to deal with.
all good, man.
Come on. Like something that stuck out to me was like, especially, you know, with like the pandemic, the lockdown and everything here, it's like a lot of us are starting to work from home, and I haven't really heard a work from home song. And if I did, which I really don't think I did. I really don't think I did. But if I did, for some reason I feel like it would have been more like the aspect of actually working and not really like kind of how it feels. And what I like about that track specifically is it it plays on like Holden did a really good job at like doing the corporate side of things. Like if you really listen to his verse, it's like very corporate, very explaining kind of like how to maneuver sort of through like the world, the dealing with like corporate at work from home. And then in my verses, it's more of the emotional side of like being home all day and like kind of having
Isolation.
trouble. Yeah, like at a certain point, like for a long time I was going to work, right? I'd take a bus and then go to work, go to the office, do the thing. And then when I started working from home, I started like looking at like old photos and just like old clothes of mine and stuff. And for some reason it's like I never really got a chance to kind of, how to explain this? I never got a chance to really like, I guess, look at my surroundings or like admire the stuff that I have in a sense. Like I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but then like being home all day and really like having it in your face, it's like, oh shit, like I really did work for this, PlayStation. I really did work for like, I don't know, it kind of like gave me this like view of like, oh shit, really you gotta appreciate the things that you have. I know that it's weird to say that because like a lot of people during the lockdown had some very, very hard times. I myself got lucky. But like that was kind of what sparked that idea for working from home. And then even at the end of the track, it's like I wrap it up with acknowledging that, I haven't left my house all day. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Like usually I'd be outside, I'd see some people, I'd see just random people on the street. But the more and more I keep going through it, it's like, bro, this is my second year, my third year now that I'm gonna be work from home. Like, no, not like just I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a weird transition.
It is, and like, uh, I hate talking about COVID because now I listed in that quote where like people are like, when you're drinking, don't talk about politics or religion. Now it's like, when you're drinking, don't talk about politics, religion, or COVID. And like I hate bringing it up because we're all trying to just look
Mm,
away from it and get away from it. But we
mm.
all know it's not that simple. Well, most of us know. There's some people out there that just refuse to believe anything. But hey, they went down the wrong rabbit hole. It's okay.
I'm not
But
I'm not really trying to have the convo, the COVID
no,
convo. It's
but
more
it
just in
did
essence
it
to
did
like the song.
definitely make things a lot more like difficult for like musicians and like hip hop artists and like all yeah, like and content creators in some ways, I guess, not so much podcasts because a lot of people have their podcast set up from a house or where they're always doing it anyway. So the
Hmm.
only thing it really screwed up was having like in-person interviews. That was like the main thing for me because like my first two seasons are just strictly audio,
Hmm.
and this season's gonna have filmed episodes. But so like having people in person is a lot better to have like the audio quality come out like the way I want it instead of having them like on Skype then downloading the video and like turning it
Hmm.
into audio and then like fuck. But
I mean, I understand that. I mean, I do that, right? Like I'm the editor for Behind That Suit. So like that's my entire job is I wait for the interview to be finished or whatever video I get sent and then I edit it up and then, send it out and it gets posted. Although it's really strange because like I never got to experience, or at least I just never experienced like pre-COVID, pre-lockdown. I wasn't really the rapper or the artist that was going out and like trying to make a name like that. Like I was always on the internet. So it's kind of like I see how COVID could have definitely screwed up a lot of people's ambitions and goals and wants for like their hip hop careers and stuff. But I also think that it gave us a new way to be creative. It forced a lot of
definitely.
people to kind of adapt the internet. And is that a good or bad thing? I have no clue. Um, I just think that for myself, I always, how do I explain this? I always thought I was going to be an internet rapper more than I was going to be a real rapper. Like at least for a long period of time until like I had like the funds or at least the opportunities to be able to travel and go be a rapper in real life. I just kind of always thought to myself like I'm going to just be an internet rapper. Like I'm going to put my stuff out there. I'm going to find the programs. I'm going to find this. I'm going to find the platforms and you know whatever happens happens. And I think that like because we're moving in this like digital age, because we're moving forward with like technology and we're like, again, stuff I don't really want to go into because I don't know much about it, but like if we were to name drop like the metaverse and shit like that, right? It's like the way that things are going, I feel like, I don't know, it kind of was a blessing in disguise to kind of get everybody on the internet and start having like people kind of utilize it and really kind of figure out how to get their music out there and stuff because that's kind of how it's working now, right?
It gave like a lot of artists a lot of time to like promote the way they should promote. If you're seeking to be a hip hop artist or an artist of the like at any genre is trying to make their bag off being an actual rapper, then you have to like, I don't know. It's definitely like promo is like a big part of it. The marketing and stuff of it is like central to it. Like if you don't have the right combination of it, it just crumbles before you. Every time you think you're making a big leap, it's really like a step. And like I've felt that way in different situations. You know what I mean? So like I don't maybe not for everybody. Maybe some people they're just popular by nature. You know what I mean? Someone's popular already and they become a rapper, it's likely they're going to have fans regardless just because they're already friends with them. So
what's interesting by that,
and there's no
what's interesting with that is like, no shade at all. But what's interesting with that point is like, so if we take the idea that somebody was popular before they became a rapper, right? How do you become popular, right? Like you don't just like wake up and like are popular. Like you kind of have to do certain shit that will make you the popular kid, right? Or you have to have certain things or be perceived a certain way that makes people think that you're the popular kid, right? So with that being said, the way I'm kind of looking at it is like, are you aware of like the park runs we were doing this summer, me and Holden?
Yeah, Juro Park.
Right. So like just something like that.
Holden, like I don't always like be commenting and shit, but I'm always lurking.
No worries. But even stuff with that, what that made me realize, and all shout outs to Holden for bringing this to my life.
Sorry, hold on. This comment I actually agree with, I think. Friend fans are inferior to fan fans though. I don't know.
Happy New Year, cool man Logan. Friend fans are inferior to fan fans. Inferior means less, right?
I think like it means like
I can't do like English right now.
What they're like really like what they aspire to be, I guess. I don't know. I don't. Let me hold on. Yo.
I mean, like I don't.
Yo.
Completely butchering.
Jacqueline.
Would you like to ask the audience 50-50 or ask the audience?
I'm on Cash Cab. Yo, Jacqueline. Can you check up the definition of inferior?
Yo, this is a legit live podcast. This is a legit live podcast. We got the dude on the side who like.
This is what I mean. If I had this problem in a car while I was riding around, I would have done the same thing. Oh, hold on.
Oh shit!
Means we're more of a fan because we've been there for you. And
yeah. Well, inferior is lesser. I mean, sure, I guess I kind of agree with that.
I'm stoned. I'm good with English. I know how to write great. My grammar is fantastic. Don't judge me off a little mistake on a chat. Jesus, I don't even know you.
No, but I know her. That's I'm dying. No, so actually,
I feel attacked.
Nah, she's cool. She's joking with you. Honestly, I kind of agree if I understand. friend fans are lesser than fan fans. I mean, yeah, dude, like your friends. Reality is, at the end of the day, your friends are not going to be the people, are not going to be the ones that are there in your future. Like, there is certain people who are going to be there. And the way I look at it is like, the certain people that I would consider my friends who are going to be with me in my future, if any of this works, are the people who've been doing shit with me. Like, who've been putting in the time, who've like been there writing music with me, recording shit with me, fucking, you know, stomping the pavement with me, going out, doing all this shit. Like, that's like the people that are gonna be there when I'm fucking doing whatever in the future and shit like that. Do I need my friends to like my music? I'm starting to get over that. Like, I'm starting to kind of come to terms with like, I don't really, I want people to like my music, but I have to like my music. And as long as I like my music and I like what I'm putting out, it really doesn't matter to me who likes it at the end of the day. Like, somebody's gonna like it, right? Um,
I've
do
always
I
said
want
that. Actually,
fans?
I used to say that myself. The same thing you just said.
I mean, like, why else? Because I think that sparks up a bigger conversation. But it's like, why else are we doing music originally as artists? Like the core essence of why we all did music, I like to believe, and maybe I'm completely fucking wrong, but the whole reason of why we started doing music is because we fucking love it. We love the culture of hip hop. We love music in general. We love just vibing out and going to different realities with sounds and visuals and all this creative stuff. So it's like once it starts feeling like essentially a fucking job, it becomes weird. Like the lines I feel become blurred, and that goes with anything. Like
I agree.
it felt more like a job to get my friends to listen to my music than to just put it out, and that was weighing on me. Like that
I
was
found
weighing on
that
me a lot.
I found it fucking weird, man. When I was doing it, like it was fucking weird to me, like how like I had to like fight for like my friends like validation, not validation so much, but like you know what I mean? Like
Well, it's because so what I've come to realize is like so until oh dude, this is going to be a really weird thing for me to say, but like until
the
and
conversation's
just for
already
lack
gone weird,
like
bro. Go ahead.
like lack of a better term, for lack of a better word, when I started getting, let's say, validated from other rappers in the scene in Montreal, and like other people were noticing my talent, and like other people that I kind of like look up to in terms of like lyrical ability and just the way they do music, and like I think they're way better than I am. Once people started giving me that validation, I stopped. Like I made the decision to stop caring about having my friends like my shit, because the problem is your friends are not going to like your shit unless they really understand what you're trying to do. And
Exactly.
this is no knock to any of my friends. This is no knock to anybody, but it's like y'all have your preferences. Y'all like the music you listen to. Y'all like the sounds that you fucking play and shit like that. It's going to be really hard for me to get you to like my music unless I do something that you already like, in my opinion. Like unless I do some like trap song, unless I do some sort of like whatever R&B, whatever popular track that suits the same shit that's happening on the radio or you're like whatever station you're fucking listening to, it's like you're not going to like my music. But on the other hand, I've got homies that are like, this is a Chris Chrome track. Like this is everything that like from however long you've known me or whatever, this is like a you track and this has to go out. And those are the people that I'm like, y'all really fuck with me because you understand the direction I'm trying to go in. As much as I may love doing all the trendy music and I vibe with all that stuff, it's like I don't feel like I'm there yet, so I can't really produce that yet.
Like, so how long have you been rapping like for yourself?
That's a like as like I mean I've been rapping forever. I got my first I mean, I've been rapping forever, from reciting lyrics to being able to recite verses from artists, you know, to like little jingles from like TV shows and shit as a kid. I used to be able to do that. Um, I was anywhere between like, I'd say 14, 16, probably like 16 most likely.
That was
Nah, more like 14.
like me.
Yeah, like 14. I was in
But I
school.
was able to
I was
get
in
like a mini
school.
home studio at the time, so
I dude, I made a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse bar as a kid and recorded it this whole like track on my dad's laptop in my room off of like some fucking
computer mic.
not even computer mic, some like wired headset mic. Like I completely destroyed that memory for so long. Like I'm thinking about it now and I was like, yo, I've really wanted to do this for so long. I, I'd have to say around 14 is when I started because I remember writing raps at 14 in school. Like I was writing like shit down. I was writing like every time I used to write raps, they sound like stories, and that's generally what I do is I write like story music. Like everything has to be connected in
That's
some
dope.
way.
I like story music.
Um, but it's always been for myself, I guess. Like I've always just wanted to rap for myself. Again, I think
I think even if you're like hungry and aiming for that like whole like mainstream fame shit, I think it should always still like be you should be true to yourself about it before any of that. But like I know it's
hmm,
hard to say, especially when you have money in front of you like that. But like you know what I mean?
I mean,
I
like
always feel
money.
like it should be for you, which it is by getting the bag. But before that, even I'm saying like making the music, it should be for you. And like a lot of the times, I feel like people lose that because of the contracts they sign and like who they end up
It's
working with.
because I feel like, in my own opinion, and again, I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of shit, but like in my own opinion, I think once you start chasing the money is when you lose a lot of this shit. Like obviously I want to get paid for this shit and I want more money and I'm trying to grind and do all this stuff. Like that's just life in itself.
Yep.
But like I just do it because I love it, bro.
And
Like
I think that's an important aspect of it. Like that should be in like your spectrum of what you're trying to accomplish always. Head
yeah,
first. Like, if you're gonna fall and bash your head on the stone, let it be that one.
that's basically it. Like I've always I don't know, man, music's always just been the way that I can express myself, that I could really dive into the certain shit. Like dealing with my ADHD has really taken a toll on me my entire life because I've never been able to process my thoughts cohesively. I've never been able to like really express myself and it takes me forever to get out. Like, bro, I'll have conversations with people and it takes me almost 5 minutes to get out a 3 word point because I don't know how to say those 3 words properly that will actually say what I'm trying to say. It's like ridiculous. And then I found music and that was just I guess like the beat structure kind of helped me be able, like it forced me to like, you have to say this many things and like you have to say this much in this verse and you have to say this much in the chorus. So that kind of gave me structure for that. But
Yeah.
like, I've always done it for myself, dude. Like, I've always done it for myself. My first track ever that I've ever put out is like my best banger in my whole fucking career. Like, I don't
What's
know,
it
dude.
called? Let people know.
It's called Whoa Broken Carousel. Put that out years ago. Oh my God, I think it's almost been like 10 years, maybe? Probably? No.
Is it on your platforms or
Spotify, SoundCloud should be out on. Oh, there's a lyrical video. I made a lyrical video on my YouTube, on the Chris Chrome YouTube. But you can catch it anywhere. It's on iTunes, Apple Music,
I
all
just
that.
wanted to know
So
so people that watches after the live know.
no, for sure, for sure. But like so I had an ex-girlfriend once who asked me that question. She was like, "So what's your next move? Like, what is your end goal?" And I think that was the moment I decided. I was like, "Yo, I proved to myself that I can rap. I proved to everybody that I can rap. Like nobody can tell me I can't rap. Like at this point, it's like, nah, you can't. You may not like my raps, but you cannot say Chris Chrome cannot rap. Like that's not true." Um, I mean, I made a banging track as my first track. The only two things at the time that I had left were like, oh, I have to make an album. Like, that's something I want to do. And then I've always just told her, like, well, at the time I was telling her, like, yo, the rest is just going to come. Like, the rest itself is just going to come. Like, I love making music and I love being creative so much that, like, bro, I can't just make an album. I have to make like an album that's essentially a movie, that's essentially a story. Like, I put so much effort into these things that I just don't see it not working,
Yeah,
or
and
at least like I don't see it not paying out.
the fact you consistently like think about like the substance you want to put into it is a big part of probably why you're successful with your music, is because you don't just put in like on a beat and just fill a beat with just bars, which I mean that's cool too, but
Mm.
you have substance.
Well, because I don't.
You have like concept, which is important. Like conceptual music and story music and stuff like that is always going to be way more creative than a freestyle with a bunch of punchlines. The punchlines might be creative, but like what's creative about the track itself?
But it's, see, that's the thing. It's like I don't know how to do, and like I don't know how to do bars, like, or what people say are bars. Like, I don't know how to do punchlines. Like, I can make a whole like 16 to 32 verse to 64 verse about this whole story with like a build up, and then me and the homies, and then me and this girl or whatever. Like, I can build this whole fucking cinematic story in one song. But for the life of me, I can't make a proper like punchline bar. I don't know how to do that. And I think it's just because, like, for me, that shit's cool, but that shit's cool for like a hot minute. And then I move on to something else where it's like I can actually maybe not relate. So I guess it's just because I can't relate to some of the bars. Like, the bars are hard, but it's like if you're just going to bar me to death and there's no like actual bringing me along somewhere, I'm kind of just like.
That's a double entendre, bro. Bar me to death.
It is. No, it is. It is what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, I love listening to people who can make creative bars. Actually, I was getting a drive home this morning and we were listening to somebody in the car. And dude had bars. Like, dude had bars. Like, and they were like super smart too. Like, they were like fucking 6-syllable words matching with like 6-syllable words and shit. Like, heavy stuff. The track is booming fire, but it's like I don't want to go back to this right now. Like, I wouldn't want to repeat it. You know what I mean? Like, I have to go back to this on some like, all right, I'm ready to listen to some bars again. Like,
play on repeat value.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that also play on repeat
value. Not saying there's no replay value, but it doesn't happen right away. So that's why I say there's no on repeat value.
And then I go and play my UK guys because I'm just super in love with the UK music right now. And they're bro, they're fire. They're fire. Man, my man's put me on that like 2 years ago, and I've just been diving in. Like, I think the UK music.
My bad. Finish what you were saying. Yeah.
I was just saying, like, the UK music is just, I find, is way better. Like, just way better than American music.
I like UK drill better than American drill, except Pop Smoke was an exception.
Pop Smoke is good. What I
was gonna say is, speaking of artists like out of that ends, like UK and stuff, I'd had my last interview was with his name's Nasty. He's from Ireland. Check out, I'm gonna get you a SoundCloud and drop it in your inbox after. This dude is dope, bro. He did like a hip hop like mix to like Billie Jean. It was dope.
That's fire. I mean, I'm on like right now. I'm listening to like Abracadabra, Dig That.
I was breaking his balls at first too, saying like, "Yo, you can't take a classic like that, and like, you better come off right with it, or you're gonna fucking face backlash," you know. And I was breaking his balls the whole interview, man. Like, and then like,
how do you actually feel about that?
I heard it and I took it back and I'm like, yo, that shit was dope. I'm sorry.
How do you actually like? How do you feel about art, like creative restrictions? Like, there's so
Bro,
many
it's
samples and so
I
much
don't
music I would want to use.
I don't own the beats, man. So you know what? Like I've used beats that some people would say shouldn't be touched, and like
Mm,
I've said to people before, there's some beats that shouldn't be touched, but I don't know nowadays, like like there's just like so many like subgenres in hip hop, and like it depends on like how the remix is. If it was like someone just taking like a Biggie beat and then like rap 90s boom bap style on the Biggie beat, I'd be like, well, you didn't really need to do that,
mm,
But if like someone was a different creative idea for it, does it, then maybe it'll come out good. I don't know. I can't say yes or no, but I've learned that like I can't really like say like, oh, you can't use that as a classic because like I I've in the past used beats that like some might consider it classic. So like I was like, well, I don't want to feel like a hypocrite, so I took my stance back. So like I don't know.
mm.
I'm indifferent. Let's say I'm indifferent.
I don't know. I think that for me, man, I like. There's so many classic songs and so much classic music that I would want to just like rip samples from or just rip parts from.
See, samples are
And
cool, but like I mean, like actual instrumental is what like I thought you meant.
no, I was asking more just the idea of like bro, I really want to fucking use that Phil Collins beat.
Well,
But
look,
in order for me
I
to
use
use the
that
Phil
back in
Collins
the
beat,
day. I use that.
right, but isn't there like some clearance or some shit? Like
Yes,
that's what I
but this
think is
was
I'm
this was
getting at
back
more
in
is like
this was back in the day when you could put your music on MySpace.
oh, yeah, well, MySpace don't do shit. But like I don't know, I feel like
Tom
once
wasn't there.
art
No
is
one
out
cared.
there, hmm, uh, I don't know.
I see what you're getting
But
at, but I think sampling is different. I thought you meant like taking the whole instrumental, but sampling, no, I have no problem with that, man. Like I like some of my like Dipset was like one of my favorite groups back in the day, and like half their tracks had choruses that were samples from 60s and 70s tracks. You know what I mean?
right,
Or just like
right.
"Oh Yes," like from Joel Santana. Just the "Oh Yes" was sampled from like an old like I think it was probably a disco song.
Yeah. I want to make a disco album.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I just want to do everything, bro. Like I don't know what year it was, but I told somebody dead face, I was like, I can rap on anything. And they were like, "Oh yeah?" And I was like, "I can rap on anything. Like I don't give a fuck. I could like I will do anything." And then I like did this run of like rapping on like Skrillex for like 3 months, and I just like tried to keep up with the Skrillex pace and tried to go really fast. Which, for any of you like fast rappers out there, that's a good practice technique. Like to be able to keep up with some of like the drum and basses and all this other shit and actually stay on point and rap that fast. Yeah, going to like a Tech Nine song or like a Twisted Insane is a little bit easier after that. Just letting y'all fast
Yeah.
rappers know. That was like that was like one of my things back in the day. Rapping fast is something I need to go back and doing.
So at 14, when you started rapping, who were like inspirations to you? Like,
At the so at 14, I mean, oh fuck. Eminem, like Eminem, obviously. My first project was and my first actual album that I ever got was an Eminem album. I was like at 12. Um, I had a see, here's my problem. I had an MP3 player, so I had access to like I didn't have like albums. I had multiple tracks. So I had DMX because I remember like Lord Give Me a Sign and like some of the tracks from Romeo and Juliet or
yeah,
Cradle to the Grave actually.
R.I.P.
Um, you remember LimeWire?
Yes, I do. It caused my
So that's
computer to
where
fuck
I
up
got.
many times.
Yeah, good old times, good
The
old days.
STD of the
Um,
internet.
so I got all my music from LimeWire. So like I would go, okay, so I'd like listen to Much Music or whatever, MTV, and then I'd be like, oh, I want that track. So then I'd run to LimeWire, and then, you'd put in the name of the song, and then you get like three other songs with the same name. So then I'd click that, and then suddenly I discover new music. Um,
Look
I had like,
Look who's
I
joined.
had, yeah, I see Holden, I see your lady friend Bonnie. What's up, homies? Shout out BTS. Shout out Behind That Suit, the family. I actually had, and I don't know if this is real or not, but I had that fucking song. It's with Biggie and the Bone Thugs. But I had a version with Tupac on it. Like somebody edited it to have Tupac on it, or maybe Tupac's on it. I don't know. I can't remember, but I had those. I had Bone Thugs. I had like some Lil Wayne, because I got more into Lil Wayne around like Carter 3. Yeah. Maybe no, Carter 2. I really like dived into Lil Wayne. I had Young Jeezy. Jeezy was like a really big inspiration to me. Gucci. I mean, Gucci was around, but that wasn't really like I've never really been like a Gucci main fan, to be honest. Nicki. I had like pre-Nicki when actually Nicki's I think the Pink album was like one of my favorites. Like that was fire. Um, I had like a variation of many people, bro. Like once I discovered that I was able to download any type of music I wanted, like I just whatever sounded good, whatever had a good title, whatever had a swear word in it, I would like definitely want to listen to that. Which funny enough, going back with Holden and doing the album reviews with Holden, it's like there was tracks that would pop up on certain projects that I'm just like, yo, this is from like I remember this, and then like, oh shit, I was on the bus when I heard this. Like, I don't know, man. I just had a lot of inspiration. But I guess the biggest one would have had to have been no, I mean the biggest one would have had to have been Eminem. That's the biggest one, right? Like white rapper. That's essentially what made me fall in love with him was like, oh, this guy can do it. I can do it too. Um, I had some 50 Cent, but I never really was like deep into 50. I had some of the Game. I'm really like just diving into my archives here of my memories to like figure this out. I had Ludacris.
Oh, Luda was a fucking dope one for me too.
Yeah, like I had Ludacris. Like again, a lot of my shit came from MTV and whatever was on Much Vibe and Much Music and stuff like that. So any of like the trending music, any of like the trending hip hop artists at the time would have been it. I know like a bunch of Birdman songs featuring Lil Wayne was there. Um Actually, I was really proud of myself. What's I'm So Hood remix? Yeah, I'm So Hood remix had like everybody on it, like everybody, and I was so proud that I could do every single word from every like I wouldn't stop. I'd go, the song would come on, you'd hear DJ Khaled doing his thing, and then the first dude, and I would just run through the whole track. Um, I remember, oh shit,
Those were great times in hip hop like history.
bro, what? Okay, yo, what people don't know is okay. The Busta Rhymes, oh my Jesus Christ, oh my Christ, the Busta Rhymes song with Lil Wayne and Chris Brown, it was like the smash, bro. Everybody knew this song, and everyone tried to do the Busta Rhymes part because it was like, but dibba 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 dibba. What it? No, you gotta get it, then you gotta do it, then you gotta show it, then you got whatever that part. I was like, I was so happy I could do it, bro. Like I was crushing everybody. Everyone's like trying to keep up, and I'm just like, oh, bro, that was good times. I feel like so much shit has changed. I don't know. I had a lot of music. I had access to a lot of music, which I think really helped me. Exactly, Holden. Good job. Look at me now. Um, I had a lot of music, which also I think helped me develop a lot of what my Chris Chrome sound is. Um, because, and this ain't a knock to anybody, but like, I feel like I can rap on a lot of variations of beats because I was exposed to so much music. Like a lot of the rap hip hop was in my ears and my iPhone, AirPod, MP3 player, but just in my house, I had, Ruben Studdard, I had Shaggy, I had Usher, I had all the R&Bs that my mom would play. I had the radio. My dad had he'd have 3 hour long mix CDs. So whenever we drive around, cruise around the city, it's like just whatever type of song would come on, whatever blues, whatever rap, whatever this. So I just consumed a lot of sounds over the years. And then, when I started playing video games, all the video game sounds started attracting me. And then that just introduced me to my love of techno and stuff, and then getting all into that. And yeah, that just really kind of developed and it took off from there. Moving from 14,
more of it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, moving from 14, I mean, everything in terms of a rap career is pretty stagnant. Life, going through high school, mostly a lot of just experiences is what really kind of happened in my life. Always writing, always jotting down, I guess, stories, feelings of how I feel, certain, I guess, disputes, arguments, fights with friends. I'd write that down, express myself and all this shit, which I spent a lot of time writing. Yeah. Maybe not the greatest, but a lot of time writing so that, and I never thought this would happen. So it's crazy how the lot in the world's aligned, but now fucking Holden's yo, reach the crib. We got to do a track 3. Chris Chrome's supposed to be on track 3. You got 10 minutes to write a verse at the crib. And I'm hey, fucking speed fingers and banging out fire now. And it's I never really thought of how important I always thought I was wasting time because I wasn't recording any of it, right? I'd be on buses. I'd be, my life actually, and this is important, and for people who may know me, my life consists of a lot of wasted time. Not in a bad way, I'm wasting time, but I used to live by bus transit 2 hours away from everybody that I was chilling with. That was only to get from my mom's place to into the South Shore, essentially, not even Montreal, forget that. Yeah. Trying to go into Montreal took me about 2.5 hours, right? So, and that's, just to be clear, that's 2 to 2.5 hours there, roaming around the city, taking metros, taking buses, going to people's places, and then at the last bus in the morning at 1:15 from Bonaventure, I'd be on that bus riding back home, getting home at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's a 4-hour transit route just dedicated alone, because either that, I could have been in a car or whatever, right? So I spent a lot of wasted time just traveling to places, traveling to do a lot of this stuff. And yes, I saw a lot of starts that looked like angles, Holden. Funny story. I put out a new project. I told Holden, I was yeah, I triple checked it. Everything's great. I spelled everything right. Bunch of spelling mistakes. If you know Chris Chrome, I have bad spelling. I'm sorry. And when we put out the project, your lady friend Bonnie, cherish her. She's the best person in the world. She's there's a spelling error. You fucked up. And Holden hits me up and he's so what do you want to do with this? And I was yo, fam, if you can change it, change it. But if not, then we'll just leave it at that. We're creating Montreal lore. People are going to have to ask questions, figure out what's up. So yeah. That's the little backstory about that. But that's also a really good song. That's also a really good track. I put the first time on any of my music, that song is the first time on any of my music that I actually got a female recording. I asked friend of mine to record something on her through her phone on Messenger, and I put that in the track. So it's I rap a little bit of a verse, and then I kind of lead up to it's we're on this date outside, cold, we're drinking coffee, whatever, and she breaks the silence because we're just kind of vibing, and then she breaks the silence by telling me it transitions into the recording, and she's basically telling me I don't think we can like sneak around anymore. Like you're cheating on your girlfriend, I'm cheating on my boyfriend. We can't be doing this. Like we should like, like we kind of have to stop and shit. But she's also very kind of conflicted because at the end of the recording, she wants me to tell her how much I love her and everything because she's like changing her mind and she's like confused. Which is like story of my fucking life, like 28 years of a life. That's literally my entire relationship story with every fucking woman. Anyway, but yeah, no, I thought that was actually pretty creative in my own self. Like I've heard rappers do it before. I've heard artists put like recordings of them doing a bunch of shit on like their projects. And that was something I was, I guess, in a way paying homage to like the creative aspect to that. But it's also something I wanted to do because I have to be very personal with myself and everything. Literally every project I put out, there's like personal shit. Like there's like when people really listen to it and really hear my interviews and really like get to know me and then go back to my music, it's like, oh, like that's more deep than we thought it was. Like that's just not him saying shit. He's really saying something. Like he's really trying to like, scream out for help or fucking send a message or whatever you want to look at it from. So, yeah, that's essentially it.
So what do you have 2022? What do you have planned for like to start like music wise? Have any like big projects coming?
Crap, I have like a bunch of shit. The next project that I'm going to be starting is shout out to Vincent Price, the technician. He's got last time I checked with Holden, it's like 30 to 60 beats out on SoundClick. So rappers, if y'all need fucking beats, they're available. You can get Vincent Price beats, Fire Fuego from SoundClick. There's like 30 to 60 of them. So people shouldn't complain about getting local beats or beats, period. That's the next
with a Y, right?
Yeah, Pryce.
Yeah.
I should just check that up very quickly before I fuck this up. And then Vincent will never be my friend again. Oh my God. Yeah, no, but like, there's 7 free beats on meticulous.ca that rappers can go use. Y'all may have kind of missed the back crew beats. Me and Holden may have dominated that, but y'all can go check it out. But just on this quick little tip, support local beat makers. Support fucking Montreal beat makers, producers, support local talent. And honestly, we have a whole archive on Behind That Suit with a bunch of rappers and a bunch of producers and a bunch of like beat makers who are literally telling you on camera, hey, go get my beats here. Hey, DM me so we can chat it up and build a community and I'll like hook you up with some shit. So nobody in Montreal alone. Fuck everywhere else to be oddly concerned. But frankly concerned, actually. But nobody in Montreal should be complaining about having beats or needing access to, like, people. Because we're here, bro. Like, we're here. We've got, Holden, correct me if you're watching, but what, like 2,000 people in this city? Rappers alone? Like, come on. People really need to start, like, connecting and networking and really, like, dropping their fucking egos and, like, just working to create the sound of Montreal. Because, like, that's kind of where I'm at. With that being said, that was a little tangent, but with that being said, actually, the Vincent Price project.
There's not enough unity in like the music scene in a lot of these cities in Canada. Like,
bro, like, that's why I'm so like, I just love making music because I've heard people be like, nah, you have to pick the artist you work with. And I'm like, no, you don't. Because for example, if I want to work with artist A, but artist B wants to work with me, right? Why don't I work with both? Oh yeah, well, blah, 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 artist B may be a certain way. Yeah, but artist B is putting out more content than artist A. I don't care how good artist A is. I see the work ethic is different. I see the way that y'all are vibing is different. At the end of the day, I'll make a track with both of y'all because one, I want my music out there. I want to put my name out there. I want my verses out there. But two, it's also like, yo, I'm part of the fucking Montreal community. You're part of the Montreal community. We can share our platforms and build the city up. And I think that if we really were to focus, actually, to loop back to the parks, right? and this was something I wanted to say earlier.
These are very, very hard facts just to everybody who watches this after. Like, he's dropping gems on y'all. You better fucking take a note.
Bro, this is after a year of consuming content from my OG Holden. I gotta shout him out for this because I shut the fuck up and listened to a lot of what he was explaining to me, and I listened to a lot. Well, I mean, hey, I edit the interviews, so I listen to everybody's points. I listen to what all these people say about our community, about our city and stuff. So these aren't just hard facts that I'm saying. These are facts that people in the city are saying that we've been screaming for the last year, minimum the last year, just because I don't remember really doing it back with like some of the album projects, stuff like that. But like the last year behind that suit has been screaming community building with everybody. Like open, at least for me, welcomed with open arms, come correct. Let's get the projects going, and boom, we put it out there, and then we take the next step. But something I wanted to loop back to, we were talking about the Popular Kid, and we were talking about the Girard Park, and what I realized was, bro, again, just to loop the whole thing with community, we went out there, we did that. I can't even remember how many Sundays. It was like 3 months, I feel, through the whole summer. And bro, we built our own little community in NDG. Like people legitimately stopped, fucking recorded us, asked us for our like IGs, for our social medias. I remember this one woman was like, "Hey, my kid really likes rap. I wanna like, can I get all your things, whatever." We had politicians, bro. We had NDG politicians show up to the fucking thing and spit bars. Bars. We had politicians from our local community come on our mic and spit bars, bro. Like, maybe I'm a little bit exaggerating with the bars or whatnot, but there was still fire. On point, flows were there. Like, yo, we had like, dude, maybe me. I remember once I was like interacting with some little kid who wanted to like use the mic as well too. So we gave him or her, whatever, like a little bit of a quick thing. We made this new friend. We had people who showed up from the park. Like, yo, some dude came up and was like, "Yo, can I just like I don't rap, but can I just do a poetry?" And I was like, "Poem? That's basically rap. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Do it." Like, the more you invest in people, the more you give people or the people in your community all these different opportunities, they really going to fuck with you, and they're going to help you soar into the places you want to go to. And whether it's online or offline, I think like we have to find a way to coordinate properly, coordinate how we're going to do this shit. Because like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. It is key. Like, bro, we all want to be legends. We all want to fucking put a name for ourselves. We all want to fucking, transition into our next lives while leaving like a legacy behind. And if you really, and please, somebody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm on like my ADHD Chris Chrome now, just letting y'all know I'm just out here now.
Give it to him.
But if you look back in history, bro, empires only conquered people with groups. Spartan 300, I mean, they died. That's a bad example, but like still, they had 300. They had 300 people ready to fucking go. Like, and they battled till the end. Like you get my point. Like that was a really horrible example. Good job, Chris. But like the point remains, bro. Like these community, like people do better in groups. People do way better as a community, as a unit. People elevate and excel to higher levels when you are in a group of like-minded people. Sometimes I actually kind of enjoy having the non-like-minded people because they really like give you different perspectives. But like, and just supportive people, like just encourage your local creatives to do the shit they want to do, bro. Like just encourage them. Like
that's what I'm doing with this shit, bro.
Yeah, man. And that's why I love this. Like, this is why if I could say anything, if anybody could take anything away from this interview, from this chat, bro, I started trying to be super positive in my life, and I deal with depression, and I deal with like being lost in my fucking brain, and I deal with like being frozen. Like I'll randomly just sit here and like my brain will shut the fuck off in the middle of the day, and I don't know what to do with myself. But what I always come back to is positivity. What I always come back to is trying to be positive and trying to just encourage people. Like, I haven't done this in a while, and I actually am mad at myself for this, but I gotta start doing this again to Bonnie and Holden. But like sometimes I remember I would like message Holden a good morning or like have a good day. And yes, it's for him, but it's also for myself because it makes me feel good that I'm wishing you a good day. And that's what I'm trying to like also do nowadays is just be super positive with everybody and just like it's all love. It's all good. Like we ain't got time for stress. We ain't got bro, there's like so many other fights and battles that we have to deal with this world. Arguing with you and like going back and forth over some bullshit is not shit that I'm trying to do in 2022 or for the rest of my fucking life.
You're speaking like the last like 3 months of my 2021. Like people are people are trying to make me react, and I was just like, well, I'm just gonna two-step away.
You know that that's something that I've dealt with my whole life. Like it's I'm very short fused. So like big shout outs to everybody who puts up with my shit. Big shout outs to every single individual person who still to this day loves me and like is there for me because I am very difficult to deal with and I can admit that. All good intentions, always wanting the best for people. I don't do anything out of ill mind or anything like that. It's always in my brain something good that I'm trying to just bring to you. I just may not be expressing it or you know presenting it properly. But like shout outs to just everybody because it's a trip. It's a trip. But even with them, they started giving me being more positive with me, and that changed my outlook. And they started supporting me, and they started like I don't know, man. Shit really fucking changes when you start like showing love to people. Like it's really fucked up and it's gotten me into some really bad situations, but I stopped telling people I like them. I started telling everybody from like a young age, like, I love you. I love you. I love you. And it fucked me over because, you know, you say it to the wrong girl and then you're like fucked into a relationship because, you know, it is what it is. Love is a very powerful word, but at the same time, I also think that there's not enough love in this world. I also think that like people are not told that they're loved enough. And that's kind of something I decided as a kid was like, I'm just going to tell everybody I love them because one, I do. Two, I love you as a person. I love the fact that you're alive. I love the fact that you're here, that we get to do this experience, that we get to do all this shit. And that's just something I keep doing. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just something I've been trying to do.
Like I used to be like a very reaction-based person, and it was always a bad reaction. So like I've learned to like deal with that probably more than deal with my mental illness. But at the end of the day, yeah, no, man, it's a good perspective to have, a good outlook to have, man. It's better than a lot of the shit we see nowadays, anyway.
I'm trying.
There's less and less of it.
Well, there's that. I'm also gonna try to like make sure I keep this concise because I've also got like 4%. I'm charging my phone, but it may die.
I got an interview coming up soon anyway, so. But we can always have a follow up. You're actually a great guest on this show. I like it.
Appreciate that. Just to not leave any questions unanswered, the next project I am doing is the Vincent Price Technician project with all his beats. Knowing that they are a fuck ton of beats, I'm most probably going to create a series out of Vincent Price. I'm getting a lot of traction with my short projects. I see that I see that like when like I put out a project that was about 20 something minutes long, and that didn't get as many good reaction, well, not as many streams as when I put out a project that was almost 10 minutes long. So I was like, maybe short projects could work for me. And what so what I'm going to do with Vincent Price is probably have like an ongoing series. There's going to be other stuff joining. There's going to be other projects dropping in the middle of it, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I am not at a rapping level to be able to bang out 66 tracks or 33 tracks or however in like a day. I'm not there yet, but it's gonna be a journey. I'm definitely gonna create again stories, concepts. Everything's gonna connect. I've already started like building plans in my head. I mean, just for the family. Bro, there's a bunch of shit coming from behind that suit. No need to question that. We're gonna have different shows. We're gonna have different stuff. There's more projects coming. There's more music coming. And you know, I edit videos, so hit me up if you need edited videos. I do thumbnails. I'm always learning. I'm always trying out new things, trying to get upgrades so I can produce better stuff. You can hit me up on Running Joke. Come chat me on Twitter at ChrisChrome93. That's been a running joke for years. I think the first year and a half of doing the album reviews with Holden, I was like, at the end of every fucking review, I was like, yo, hit me up on Twitter. Nobody did. Nobody hit me up on Twitter, except for my boss. After like 4 years of waiting, my boss literally hit me up on Twitter and was like, I think I'm the first one. I was like, yo, that's love right there. I'm gonna shout out to my boss. That's love.
It's the small accomplishments, bro.
Absolutely. But you can check out my music, Spotify, iTunes Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. YouTube. But you have to go to Behind That Suit. All my music's on Behind That Suit. I haven't really touched my Chris Chrome page. I got to get on that. I'm kind of lazy. I've got like I'm attached to a YouTube page, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I think that's pretty much all of it.
Yeah, man. And when you have the project coming closer, or like when you start working on it a little more, we'll touch base and talk about it some more. Maybe get Vincent Price on as like a second guest.
Ooh, that'd be nice. Vincent's gonna trip when he sees my project.
Just hit him up and let me know what he says, and we'll plan it.
We'll definitely plan it. Again, I appreciate you for having me on, bro. Like, this was actually a fun chat. This was amazing time. You be safe,
anybody
okay?
That's following me that isn't following Chris Chrome, follow him. And anybody that's following Chris, please follow me.
Follows, shares, likes, subscribes, links in the description, all that fun stuff. I am Chris Chrome.
Share the interview to your stories. Share it with your friends.
I shall. You be safe, my guy.
Chris Chrome was dropping gems on you motherfuckers. All right, bro.
Bye.
Peace.
Laters.